Picture this. Imagine endless space. But wait, even space doesn't exist yet. There's no sky above, no earth below, absolutely no stars. Just a profound silent void. This is the ultimate beginning, an unmanifested presence, just waiting there, kind of like a seed right before it sprouts. And in that seed lies the blueprint of absolutely everything, the galaxies, the oceans, and, well, you.
It sounds almost impossible, right? I mean, did ancient sages, sitting in deep meditation thousands of years ago, actually predict the mind-bending discoveries of modern quantum physics? Today in this explainer, we're going to bridge the seemingly impossible gap between ancient Hindu philosophy and cutting-edge science. We'll explore how these profound ancient concepts can actually become your ultimate guide to finding peace, clarity, and success in our modern, and let's be honest, often chaotic world.
All right, let's dive into Section 1, Sound, Space, and Origins.
It is honestly fascinating how perfectly these two views mirror each other. On one side, we've got the modern scientific consensus, the Big Bang Theory. It tells us that the universe began from a singularity, this microscopic point of nothingness that just suddenly expanded into everything we see today. On the flip side, ancient Vedic texts describe Nad Brahma. They say creation was actually sparked by a subtle vibration, the cosmic sound of AUM, which created the Hiranyagarbha, or the Golden Womb. We'll actually see a bit later how this sound of AUM holds some incredibly profound quantum layers of its own, but essentially, this cosmic egg split open to form the endless worlds. So whether you call it a singularity expanding or a golden womb bursting forth from a cosmic sound, both traditions agree on one thing: the entire universe erupted from a single, unified source of unimaginable energy.
Now, unlike the standard modern view where time just marches in a straight line from that Big Bang, the ancient texts present time as this massive, repeating loop. Our day-to-day lives run on the clock, sure, but on a cosmic scale, time is divided into vast cycles called yugas. It kicks off with the Satya Yuga, an age of pure truth and harmony. Then slowly, over immense periods, we cycle through Treta and Dwapara, where greed and ego really begin to rise. Finally, we hit the Kali Yuga, an age of darkness and struggle, which, according to the texts, is exactly where we are right now. But here's the hopeful part, so don't despair. This cycle isn't permanent. Just like the seasons, winter always gives way to spring. The universe dissolves and is reborn all over again.
Moving right along to Section 2, the illusion of separation.
To really grasp our place in all this, we need to look at two foundational concepts from Advaita Vedanta. First is Brahman, which is the ultimate, indivisible reality. It's the source of literally everything, completely beyond time and space. Then we have Atman, which is your individual soul, your deepest self. Think of Atman as a single drop of water, and Brahman as the vast, infinite ocean. That drop is physically a part of the ocean, right? It shares the exact same fundamental qualities, meaning your deepest self is directly, inextricably connected to the ultimate reality of the cosmos.
But hey, if we're all one with this ultimate reality, why do we feel so alone? Why does the world feel so fragmented and divided? Well, the answer is Maya. Maya is the illusion of duality. It's kind of like a filter over our eyes that makes us think the multiplicity of objects, people, and all those struggles we see around us are separate, disconnected things. We think we're divided, but that separation is actually a grand illusion masking a much deeper, profound unity.
And this right here brilliantly illustrates where ancient philosophy and quantum physics completely shake hands. Advaita Vedanta tells us that the separateness of things is Maya, an illusion. Fast forward to the 20th century, and physicists discover quantum entanglement. This is a real phenomenon where subatomic particles become linked, and an action on one instantaneously affects the other, no matter how many millions of light-years apart they are. There is literally no way to explain it using classical physics. Both systems are telling us the exact same thing. At the most fundamental level, the idea of a disconnected universe is completely false. Everything is deeply, instantaneously intertwined.
Which brings us to Section 3, the observer and consciousness.
Okay, this might actually be the most mind-bending parallel of the whole explainer. Advaita posits that pure consciousness is the very foundation of existence. It's not just something our brains generate, it's the actual ground from which reality arises. Amazingly, quantum mechanics has a concept called the observer effect. This suggests that the mere act of measuring or observing a quantum system actually forces it to choose a specific state, collapsing the wave function. The implication here is massive, folks. Both traditions suggest that your consciousness, your awareness, isn't just a passive camera recording the world, it might actively be shaping the reality you experience.
Now, to be fair, while their conclusions are strikingly similar, we definitely need to point out how differently they got there. Advaita Vedanta relies on deep introspection. Sages use the method of niti-niti, which basically means not this, stripping away everything that isn't the ultimate truth until only pure realization remains. Quantum physics, on the other hand, uses empirical observation, complex mathematical formalism, and highly controlled experiments. So one looks deeply inward through experience, the other looks deeply outward through data. Yet remarkably, they point to the exact same unified horizon. Let's bring this down to earth in Section 4, the three modes of nature.
According to Chapter 14 of the Bhagavad Gita, everything in nature, including our own human behavior, is driven by three modes, or gunas. Think of these as the three gears of your mind. First up, there's sattva, the gear of goodness, peace, clarity, and balance. Then there's rajas, the gear of passion, high energy, ambition, and, sometimes greed or restlessness. Finally, there's tamas, the gear of ignorance, laziness, and inertia. We are all constantly shifting between these gears. If you're feeling super stuck and lazy, you're in tamas. If you're wildly ambitious but totally stressed out, you're in rajas. The real secret to a peaceful life is to recognize which gear you're currently in and actively shift yourself towards sattva, toward that sweet spot of balance and clarity.
And that leads perfectly into Section 5, the path of selfless action.
This concept beautifully captures a core teaching. It's a real game changer. It's all about learning, performing your daily duties, and focusing your mind. The secret to a meaningful life isn't running away to hide in a mountain cave somewhere. It's about taking the work you do right now, whether you're a student, a parent, an employee, whatever it is, and doing it so completely and selflessly that your work itself becomes a form of worship.
So how do we actually do that? Well, it builds into an incredibly actionable framework called the Path of the Karma Yogi. Step 1. Do your duty to the absolute best of your ability. Just pour your heart into it. Step 2, and this is for sure the hardest part, give up your selfish attachment to the results. Don't do it just for the applause, the big promotion, or the money. Do it because it's the right thing to do. Step 3, aim to serve the greater good of society. If you can detach from your anxiety about the outcome and just focus on doing excellent, helpful work, you literally neutralize stress and find permanent peace. You align yourself with that unified quantum reality we were talking about earlier.
And what is the ultimate endgame of living this way? It's moksha. Moksha is ultimate liberation. When you work selflessly and gain true knowledge of your connection to the cosmos, you basically stop accumulating karmic baggage. You realize you aren't this isolated, stressed-out doer, but a vital part of the grand energy of nature. When that realization peaks, you achieve freedom from the cycles of suffering, birth, and death. You truly become one with the universe. So the absolutely crucial point is, how do we bring this into our everyday lives? How do we find clarity in our actions when life is just full of doubts and struggles? Well, Chapter 17 of the Gita provides a powerful threefold mantra, Om Tat Sat. But let's look deeper into Om itself, just as the Upanishads explain it. Ancient sages broke Om into 4 states of consciousness, and it is wild how perfectly this maps to modern quantum physics. A is the waking state. That's our everyday, solid classical reality. U is the dreaming state, which perfectly mirrors quantum superposition where multiple fluid possibilities exist all at once. M is deep sleep, totally akin to the quantum vacuum, a state of unmanifested pure potential. And finally, the silence after the chant. That is Turiya, mapping directly to the unified field, pure, foundational consciousness. By chanting this when you feel lost, you aren't just making a sound. You are actively aligning your mind through the physical, the possible, the potential, and ultimately into profound unified peace. Tat Sat then simply acknowledges this ultimate truth. It's a complete guide to the art of living peacefully.
We've traveled all the way from the cosmic void and the Big Bang through quantum entanglement down to the daily choices we make in our work and our minds. We know now that separation is an illusion, and our consciousness actively shapes our reality. So I'm going to leave you with this provocative thought. As you finish this explainer and step back into the daily grind, into what often feels like a separate, chaotic world, knowing that your mind is the observer that literally collapses the wave function of your life, how will you choose to observe your own universe today?